Okay. So the question was, do you fully understand what we are doing? Forget about the interactive mode right now. I'll come back to that. Uh, when we started a container using this command on our system, it does map a TCP IP port from your host computer, which is a local host, into a container which is running on port 80. So the communication is established. Now, does anybody know what is TCP here? If you don't know, that's fine. I just wanted to know. This is we will be covering it in a bit more detail. So just wanted to know if anybody has any awareness or any basic information around it. If it is not, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to cover that. Let's start. So first of all, start the dash. When you have Docker desktop, you will see a screen like this. Are you all so? One thing is we are interacting with the container runtime using our shell or command line prompt from the Visual Studio Code or on your system. No matter, doesn't matter where you are running. So this is known as Docker CLI, which is allowing you to communicate with the Docker desktop and allow you to start create containers, delete containers as we saw. Sorry. So that is an interactive mode using that is a what sorry that is a interaction with the container runtime using your command line utility. The next thing is you have Docker desktops application installed on your system. So if you select that container and right, for example, ng1, you will see this screen. Can you all follow these instructions before we jump into the interactive mode? We want to just go through this.
Yes, yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
So,
Yes, yes.
so Nikul, Keyur, and Sanjay, all of
Yes, yes.
able to see.
Yes, yes, I can see that. Yeah.
Now, on this screen, you have different tabs here like inspect, bind, mounts, exec, files, stats. Now click on exec for a minute and press enter. So are you able to see the prompt there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So now what does that mean is the Docker desktop application is allowing you to connect to the Docker container we are running from the shell prompt, but this is inside the container. It is not on your host. So if you look at this picture carefully,
Okay.
right, the dark blue color represents your laptop, your host operating system, which may be Mac, Linux, or Windows. And the light blue box is representing a Docker desktop application. Okay. Now, Docker desktop application allows us to run one or more containers. So think about these container here in a square box, which is running on port 80, and the application is mapped to port 8080 on your laptop. So when you go to your browser and type localhost 8080, you see this web page, which is coming from here. So if I press refresh, is it refresh? You see this, the first logs tab is showing you a request responded to the request you sent it from the browser. Let me change it here, right? So if you go to logs, on one screen you have opened up logs from the container, and on another screen you are having a browser with this URL. So if you keep refreshing it like this, refresh. So every single request you send from your browser is responded from a container, and it is logging that this many requests has been served so far. Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
And these are known as HTTP logs. HTTP logs are the web server logs, which we are running a web server named nginx, and that nginx is serving a default web page, which is been communicating with the container, and we are seeing these logs are successful. Now, behind the scene, what happens? A TCP request. Now, what is TCP? The TCP stands for Transmission Control Protocol, which is a which offers set of rules which allows communication between computers and computer applications. Okay.
Yeah.
Similar to, in a simple terms, like I'm speaking in English and you all are understanding English language. So the rule is whatever we are discussing, a common rule is a language required which everybody understands. So that is one rule. Then every language has grammar, every language has words, and you are putting up sentences using a language which everybody is understanding. Similar to that, when computer applications are functioning, they need set of rules to follow so that the communication happens and it is working successfully. Now, in terms of um, actual connections, it is using transmission control protocol, uh, IP addresses, and port numbers. Now, let me see if I can have a whiteboard here. Okay. Stop sharing. And whiteboard. Can you all see my whiteboard now?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. So I'm just trying to explain it in the simple terms how the TCP communication works. Like this is a source and say this is a destination computer, right? Now, in simple terms, you can see this is a computer and I can communicate to this computer using, say, some sort of, yeah. So this is my source computer and this is a destination computer and it is communicating. Now, what happens on a network when you have Wi-Fi at home, you can see there is always an IP address, which sometimes like mostly starting with 192.168.1.x. And then the computer on the same network has another IP address .1.y. Okay. Now think about those numbers as your door number on your street and the postal packets are being delivered to you, right? Whenever you have a post, you have a number like 100 number on street ABC belongs to X person. So they know your name is there, but mostly when you deliver a packet, they have a door number and a postcode, right? And
Yeah.
every postcode has a unique door number. Now, think about that as a subnet on your within your home. You have a home network and every computer or phone device connected to your router has a unique address like this and it is communicating. Now, similar to that, when you are communicating with containers running on your system has IP address and your containers will also communicate using IP address. It has a network, virtual network within them. So when this is a think this is as our host computer source, like I will say host browser. our host OS. And this is our destination. So instead of computer, now we will change it to a container server running at port 80. Okay. So what we have done is, once we started this container on our system, we mapped a port. Last time I showed you when you can start it without a port number, but you can also start with a mapped port number. So now this computer localhost has also a special address called 127.0.0.1, which is which is resolvable using a name called localhost. So think about this as a like you have a website, right? And that website has a name, right? www.google.com or amazon.com, whatever. So every time when you type a name of a website, it resolves to something which is representing a IP address. Okay. And all the communication on internet or within your home's network happens using TCP/IP protocol, which is relying on the IP addresses and port numbers. So this is the logic behind it. It's very basic, but you can read more if you are interested. But at the moment, you have to understand this is one type of communication which is happening from your browser to the container on a specific port. So when you type localhost port 8080, it is redirecting the request to this container, and the container is responding on port 80 because we are running a web server and you are seeing this web page. Is this clear?
Yes, yeah.
Any questions around this?
No.
No.
Okay. So now there are special port numbers we need to go through. So these are some of the port numbers and services I'm going to type, which you just remember those 5 or 6 port numbers we will say. So DNS service usually has port 53. SSH, which is secure shell, which we will learn in later stage. HTTP is 80. HTTPS, which is a secure web server, 443. And yeah, at the moment, just think about these ports, which are standard ports. First 1024 ports are reserved for services. So, when we are typing something in English, there are alphabets, right? So alphabets like S is always reserved like this, C. So these alphabets are like standard for constructing English words. Similar to that, there are standard port numbers assigned to global services, which you can use locally as well. And these are some of the examples for those ports based on services. This is known as the domain name service, which is responsible for resolving host name to IP addresses. Secure shell communication. HTTP is a plain HTTP web server. HTTPS is a secure HTTP web server. Now, most of the time when you communicate on internet, you will see this what you can say, cncf.io. The cncf.io is a web server. It's serving a website for Cloud Native Computing Foundation. It's a massive project, and its peak. Lots of organizations and corporates are contributing to this for building open source softwares, Kubernetes, containerized applications, blah, blah, blah. So you will see this a sign here on the leftmost part. This shows that your connection is secure, right? There is a lock there. And now when you click on that, you will see that this particular connection is secure and encrypted between your browser and the server from where it is serving.
Sorry, Sam, I can't see that. But are you showing something on the screen?
Okay, sorry. Yeah, good point. I was sharing the screen. It's a difficult thing that I.
Yeah, well, shall we stop through following you?
No. 1 second.
Oh,
1 second.
okay, fine, yeah.
So the problem is when I share the whiteboard, I can't
Yeah,
share
yeah.
the screen. Well, let me see. Continue sharing your screen while close the whiteboard. So just take a screenshot of the whiteboard in case if you need.
Okay, yeah, 1 second.
I'll just share it. Don't worry, I'll share in the chat. So that I can stop that and start sharing the screen. So now what I was trying to say that there is a special HTTP protocol called HTTPS. And that HTTPS protocol is when you are visiting most of the websites nowadays. You can see that we need to. So when you see that on the left hand side, you will see this symbol, right? And that symbol says, if you click on that, it will show you this lock and says connection is secure. Have you ever noticed it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, most of the site. So what does it mean is your communication from your browser, like this website, this web page you are seeing, and the server from where it is serving this content, the communication between your browser and that server connection is secure. Okay. So it is encrypted and nobody can easily read information between that. So that's a secure HTTP. So we are talking about only 4 ports as I have shared the screenshot. Like DNS port is 53, SSH is 22, HTTP is 80, and HTTPS is 443. Just remember those four, and we will think about other services when we go through, right? Now, coming back to the containerization, what we have learned first, say if you on your computer, if you type host, local host, what do you see? Can you respond back to me? Are you seeing the screen, right? Yeah. Hello. Are you able to see my screen, right?
Yes, yes. What's the post
This
local?
command, yeah. Host space localhost. Do you see something like this? Localhost has address 127.0.0.1.
No, mine is not working. Host cannot found. Like command not found.
Host command.
Yeah,
This one.
same to me.
So are you on a, okay, let me try one more thing with you now.
We are on a visual
Yeah.
yeah.
Like this, you are on a Visual Studio Code
Yeah,
bash, right?
yeah,
Yes, yes.
bash.
Is it showing bash or git bash?
It's showing bash.
Bash.
Can you try and change it to git bash, please?
Okay, okay.
Uh, so shall we type this on a git bash, you mean?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Same command not found.
Command not found. Okay. Can you try this command? NSLOOKUP. Yeah, that should be there. Bash, git bash, both should have that.
ns look up, yeah.
1 second, yeah. NS lookup, then local host. Type this command. All in one single command.
Yes.
Yeah, this
172 point something.
yeah, this is working like 194.168.4110.
Yeah, this has worked, yeah.
Okay, so no, so in the is it exactly the same output as you are seeing on my screen? The server address and then the non-authoritative answer localhost 127.0.0.1.
Yes, yeah, same as you.
Yes.
Nikhil, perfect.
Yeah.
What does that mean is your your computer has a DNS service responding from your router. Probably most of you are connected to the home router or your 4G. So
Yeah.
this is the no, that you're not seeing the correct response. Unknown local host. Okay, your server is not responding in that case. NS lookup, LOCA, HOST, yeah. So are you connected to internet with your 4G router or you have a home broadband router?
No, no, no. I'm connecting with my mobile hotspot.
Mobile one, yeah, okay. Okay, that's fine. So, okay, okay, it is not resolving. But you are able to see the web server when you run the localhost port forwarding 8080 to the web server, right?
Yeah, yeah, yes, yes,
That
yes,
is
yes.
working fine. Okay. All right. Maybe some changes on your system or your network is not correctly responding. But the point I was trying to make is this is a spatial address 127.0.0.1. So whenever we are working on our local computer and we are testing simple services like we created a simple web server, right? We will be able to refer it to the host, and host has IP addresses. Now, when you have IP address, you have port numbers ranging from 0 to 65,535. So I'll just switch back to the screen where I have to share the whiteboard. So the host is okay. The host is resolving to 127.0.0.1. This is low. Make sure you always remember this is case sensitive. Now, what I'm trying to say is the first 1024 ports starting from 0 is 0 to 1023 are reserved ports for default services. Some of the example of default services are this port 5322 80443, and there are a few other, but these are the common services which we will be using. And currently we will be focusing on mainly the web services. Okay. So now if you want to test more services, for example, okay, um, sorry, that's not going to work. Huh? If you want to test more services, the thing what I'm trying to explain you is every IP address is this case is where you can map up to 65,535 ports on each IP address. So you can start from 1024 up to 65,535 because the first 1024 ports starting from 0 are reserved, can be used for general.
Sorry, Sam, when you say the 0 to 123, 1023, which means like the first three letter of the IP address, yeah?
No, no, no. This is not about IP address. This is about the port number.
Port number, okay. So like in this our case, like it shows the 127.0.0.1, yeah? So, oh, sorry, port, yeah, I understood, yeah.
So it's a port number, not the IP address,
Yes, yeah, yeah.
right? Okay. So you have to remember this fundamental as it is more important for next steps. Okay. So now IP address and port number, you should not have any confusions now. We are trying to, as we have explained in the second session, this is a one type of virtualization. Containerization is one type of virtualization, which allows us to run lightweight containers on our system without having a need of a full stack operating system, because that can be achieved by using virtual machines, but it needs more resources and more time to build and support. So all the industrial standards are major of the applications people are running with containerization, and that's what we are starting with. We already managed to run a basic container, which is a web server, and how we are accessing it. So we are accessing this container service using port mapping. The work we are doing while forwarding the port 8080 to map with the port 80 on the container is known as port forwarding. Okay. And that is what we have done using the command we ran. I'll just make sure it is aligned so that you don't have to worry about this on here. Okay. So that will. So this concept is absolutely vital and important for you all to remember. Any questions around it?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Now I'll switch back to the screen share so we can uh, uh, continue with the further topic. Okay. So now going back to see that. Just a second. So let's deep dive into the Docker runtime and the command line utility, what we have done so far and what we are going to do next. Okay. Now the interactive mode, if it is not running on your computer, then we need to find out. But if it is not working on your computer, then you can use this option with a Docker desktop. You can always open up the graphical user interface like I have done on my computer, and you can run those commands here. Like in the first session, we learned about few commands, pwd, ls-l, and then you can change directory to /var, var, and see the content of that directory. But these are all commands we are running inside the container. Is that okay? Do you follow that?
Yes. So we can write down on the exec. Yeah.
Yeah, on the exec tab.
Mm.
So
What's
Exec what's not working on me. I
exec
sh
is not
yeah,
working. Is
yeah,
that
I'll share the photo.
okay? Let me check that. So I can't see. Okay, yeah, I just shared it. Okay. Execute command, run the container. Okay, can you go back to the containers tab, please? On your screen. Okay, let's do one thing. I will give you, yeah, okay.
It's not working on me as well, I think, yeah.
Yeah, because 25 minutes. Is the container running on your computer? Because if you click the first one, say click the first one and start play button, click the play button. Looks like the container is stopped on your computer.
Yes, yeah, that was top on mine.
So you click on that, select the container and click on the play button on the right.
Okay, then what should I type?
Yeah, so now it is working, right, Keyur?
Yes, yes,
Press
yes,
enter.
yes.
So what I'm trying to say is, once you're on a containers, make sure these container are up and running, and you can see it from here. So once you select this, if it is running, it will go to the screen where it shows you logs, and then exec. Click on exec, and you can see that terminal which is inside the container, and try to run some commands which we learned about in the first session. ls minus l pwd, we learned about those commands. Slash temp directory, if you go to slash temp directory from prompt, you will be able to see 0 files. Then you can create a file there as well, touch, or you can say echo welcome and then send it to a.txt file, and then you can use a.txt to see the content of the file. So I'm just trying you to practice those commands inside the container which we learned. It should not take more than 5 minutes.
So if suppose it's not working the IT like interactive mode on the Visual Studio, so we can use on Docker Desktop, yeah?
Yeah, in case, yes, if you need.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, working on exec all commands.
All commands are working, right? Good.
Yeah.
Uh, 1 second, I'm just trying to do it. Why when I sign in for that on Docker desktop, it says like I need to upgrade it for active subscription required.
No, but you can cancel that. You can, is there a cancel sign on that cross? If you are not logged in with the free account we created, just log in. It is free for normal use.
Yeah, that's what I did. Uh,
It may be just giving you a
I
notification.
know, yeah, but I can't see anywhere to cross it. Like it just says, uh, 1 second.
What I can see is The rest of you are able to see all the containers, right? Yeah.
Docs coming, exact. I'm just sending photo. If you can see anywhere like to cross it, I can't see.
I think this is your container is still not started, I guess. Oh,
Uh,
or you know, it's fine. 1 second. Or enable debug. Yeah, can you run? Can you click on the play on the
yeah,
right?
yeah. That's what when I click a play, it comes up. Yeah. Okay. So what command I should need to give first?
You can practice them now later because these are the commands we tried when we learned in the first session. So you can try them later if you want, like listing files and like this. Like quickly, I can show you.
Yeah.
So, what does PWD, Sanjay?
Password. Sorry. Uh, sorry. It's not with my I had in my mind. Sorry, I forget. Like it was protected or password.
These things will not work. Whatever we are learning, you must have practiced it, and these are very basic commands, like very basic. If you keep forgetting them, then we won't be able to progress further.
Yeah.
Um, so all of you have to be very precise that we are going very slow at the moment because I want to build the foundation. The foundation must be very strong, and whatever basics we have learned, you should be fluent with that without any problem. Otherwise, we won't be able to progress. This
Mm.
this course is
Yes,
quite
yes.
intense in the sense you have to be very alert, and you need to, at least what we learn is not even one couple of 2-3% of the whole course we have just covered. 2-3%. It's a lot of things we have to cover. And second thing is you have to be very precise when you speak or ask a question. I'm not saying everybody is expert, so try to build that um, communication quality so that other people can understand what you're asking and they can precisely respond. And also, whatever we are learning has to be practiced and memorized. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to carry on. So, doesn't matter. It's not too late. You can still spend few hours and practice them. What we are trying to do is in the first session, whatever commands we ran on our computer, we are trying to run it on the container, and we see the file system files. We can create directory, mkdir, tem,
Mhm.
or temp training, whatever, and then cd temp. So you are changing your temp, and then the current directory is temp, pwd is present working directory. Then you can echo commands, hello world. From there, it will print it back. You can if I change it to bash, I will have history echo hello world to say a file called a.txt, and then you can view the content of the file using cat command, and you can see that ls-l, it has only one file at the moment. So things like this, these are the basic commands. Now containerization is in very demand because of the features it is offering. We will look into more details later. At least you should be able to understand what we have done so far, and I would highly recommend you practice it and remember what we have learned. Otherwise, we won't be able to progress further. Um, so there is a bit of a write-up on the slide. I have already shared these slides with you all. Um,
Yes, yes.
and you understand what we have done. We have used port forwarding. Now, the slide 13 is a little bit of advance. If you can't do or change the file on the container with this exec command, what we can do is we can use this command, right? So I'll just share it with you in a minute. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to change my web server content to something different. So now if I run this localhost and I want to make sure I change the welcome to user share nginx html index.html. And if I refresh, can you see my screen that I have changed? Now when I am redirecting my request to port 8080 on a container I was running, the response has changed. Now why it is like that? We just change the content of the web page by changing the file content. And I have created two files. So what I was trying to explain is we can change and modify the content we want to serve from the web server. And the first very basic example is from your container when you are on an exec tab, try to change your bash. The default shell is sh. First of all, I'll go back to that. So this is the shell prompt whenever you are getting onto the exec tab, you get it. Type bash in all lowercase. So it will switch your shell to the bash shell and then run this command, change whatever content you want to change. Welcome, whatever message you want to change. And once you execute that, yeah, you can put your name, welcome, blah, blah, blah. And then go back to the browser and refresh the page. And you will see the web server page has changed and it is now sending you the content from the new web page. Can you test it?
Just a minute.
Can you show that command, please?
I have shared it in a web.
Okay, yeah.
I have some error like no such file or directory.
Are you sure about this? Let me.
So we created ng1. So we write down ng1.
So whichever server you are accessing, so on the container, right?
Yes. I'm write down on containers. Yeah.
Container exec, and then you
Yes.
are change your shell to bash, right?
Yes.
So do one thing before you run that echo command. List the content of this directory /usr/share/ so ls. I'm putting the command on the screen.
Yeah, I got
And-
like a welcome Sanjay on my screen.
Okay, good. So that you are able to update the file content to that. So I don't know whether Kevin or Nicole was having problem. Can you list the files on your this directory like /usr/share/nginx/html?
Yes, my file part was different, so that's why it's not coming.
Okay, so what was the problem?
Mm.
I think Nikul, we have to type ng1 because we created container with name ng1.
No, ng1 is not necessary.
Okay,
The problem he is facing is different.
okay.
So user share nginx. In your first command, you have typed the name nging, not x. So that's why it is a problem.
Oh, yeah, yeah, sure. Okay.
Make sure, these are basic things, my friends. You have to.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a hard stop now. Hopefully you will be able to follow it along and we will start next Sunday. Okay.
All right.
So now you can do one thing. You can delete this container, create a new container and follow the steps again and practice it. Make sure you try and understand. If you are not able to run the container in interactive mode, you can see we can start in a detached mode and then go to the exec tab, right? Is that okay?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see you next Sunday. Okay. Have a nice one. Bye.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Will you be share this
Yeah.
recording later on so we
Yeah.
can?
Later on, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whenever you get time.
Bye.
And are we doing still on Sunday, Sam?
I'll confirm it in the next 2 days. Yeah, but
Fine.
mostly it will be Sunday. If I can do Saturday, I'll do. But keep it Sunday because Sunday is
All
not
right.
confirmed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Bye. Bye.